think transdisciplinary learning is really the only way to learn, as far as I'm concerned. And I was even many years ago when I was in college, and I took courses. I'm a mechanical engineer, and I took courses in management and history of civilizations and comparative constitutions and things like that. And I think it really helped. So I believe in a liberal arts core of education. Reading classics, however we define classics and all that. So to me, transdisciplinary is an extension of that. It is that you don't limit your thinking to sort of siloed ways of thinking, and bring as many sort of perspectives and as many, today's problems are so challenging that to solve them you need many, many perspectives. And sometimes it's not one person who can do that, and that's why teams of folks from humanities and arts and engineering and science and law, etc., are likely to be more effective in coming up with solutions. So I think transdisciplinary, by the way, I think people sometimes get hung up on terms of multi versus trans versus inter. I know there are definitions for these things, but basically it's approaching things in as holistic a way as possible and not being hung up on. I'm very pragmatic about these things. I think the exact definitions are, you can get pedantic about what is trans and what is multi and what is inter. And that's why I was saying the way I think about any of this, and I've worked with across the, I gave you a couple of examples already, and so, at both institutions, and we did this recently at Arizona, so I'll give you that example. We have, we opened up for institutional investment of funds, we opened up what we called a Big Idea Challenge. And so we invited faculty members from across all colleges, staff and student, anyone could propose big ideas, which meant they had to be things they weren't already doing. It had to be things where at least 3 colleges had to participate, maybe more. And it had to have societal impact, it had to have a pathway to external funding, etc. and stuff. We had 72 proposals the last time we ran it in Arizona. Lots of inspiration, lots of excitement on campus. Even our police department proposed one thing about using AI for better campus safety and things like this, right? In collaboration with others. So we funded some 6 projects there. It just brings people together. And we also have institutional priorities in 4 or 5 areas. One's agriculture and water resources. It is by definition multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary. And so another one is in AI, but as applied to health outcomes in healthcare. That too brings so many disciplines to bear. So I think in the US, large funding has been, to be able to get large centers and institute funding and such, you typically had to have solved fairly complicated problems which needed many different disciplines to come to bear. So it has transformed a lot of high-end institutions and more. Obviously, some of the things we talked about, governance structures, reward structures, etc., are important. I think what's most important is recruiting the right faculty and encouraging work that maybe is exploratory and non-traditional and things like this. I think we should let faculty be creative and do their thing. So, try not to regulate too much and bring in good faculty, support them, give them opportunities to grow, and give them opportunities to collaborate with people around the country and around the globe and be parts of international networks. Again, they are the lifeblood of a university. You need to support them, and then they do the thing, which is to educate students. So.